Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. You might be wondering why I'm perched precariously on the side of this hill. I'm looking for fossils. As some of you might know, I am a paleontologist in training, as it says on my channel description, and looking for fossils is one of my favorite pastimes. Today, I'm looking at Permian Age fossils. The Permian is the time period in geologic time directly preceding the age of the dinosaurs, which the dinosaurs rose to prominence, well, they evolved first in the mid-Triassic. And so the environments I'm looking through right now are a marine or semi-marine environment. And yeah, I'm out here just trying to see what I can find. I know for a fact that I'll be finding lots of brachiopods, which are little organisms. You can kind of think of them as similar to clams, but they have a different valve system. And yeah, just kind of seeing what I can find. So what I want, though, even though I know I'm going to be finding brachiopods, I want to find a fish, some plants, and if I'm lucky enough, I don't know if this will happen, but maybe some material from a reptile or amphibian. So yeah, it'll be fun. What am I carrying today? Well, petrified fish beluga, in hopes that I find a petrified fish. I'm also carrying my Victorinox because so handy for fossil hunting. So handy. Obviously, since I'm an outdoorsman, I have my cold steel SRK. And then, obviously, rock hammer, magnifying glass, chisels, and a whole bunch of other tools in here, including a first aid kit, collection bags, and even some mineral testing supplies, which I don't think I'll need. Most of the minerals that I'm going to be looking at today are going to be carbonates. But you know what? I might find something that I want to test. So I've got that stuff if I need to. All right, let's go ahead and go look for some fossils, shall we? Ooh, what do we have there? Can you see it? There's a brachiopod. Really nice one. A few little shell fragments on that rock. All right, that's pretty nice. Worth keeping at least. Oh, looky there. I don't trip and kill myself. There's another. Let's focus on that camera. What do you think? This is... oh, either it's a few that are crushed together, or it's different than a brachio. I know, I don't think so. Pretty sure it is a brachiopod. Let's see. Ooh, this looks interesting. I want to take a look at that. So within just 3 minutes of looking, I have already found a ton. I think this is the 5th brachiopod I found already. So you might be wondering, well, how are you finding them so easy? And the simple answer is they're easy to find. The more interesting question is, why are they easy to find? The answer is because, well, think about the process that leads to fossilization. A living creature needs to be buried rather rapidly after they die in order for the process to really begin. You know, the more sediment stacked on top of them, the crushing, blah, blah, blah. Well, when you have little organisms that are, you know, brachiopods, pelycopods, things like that, they're just kind of living their life in this hard little shell. When they die, they're pretty resilient. And then they're always in the water most of the time, so they sink into this deep mud at the bottom of lagoons and things like that, and they get buried pretty quickly. So there's just a lot more of them to find because a lot more of them die in the right conditions, as opposed to the other things I'm looking for today. And that's also why you can collect invertebrate fossils pretty much as you want. I will say, I don't think I said this already, but if I do find vertebrate fossils, I am not going to collect them myself. I'm going to go and get a professional from a museum or something to come out here, and I'll help them see what they can see. So yeah, let's take a look at some of this stuff. Here we have a rock that's covered in all kinds of little shell fragments. I want to grab this guy, flip him over. Might be some stuff in there. I don't know, we'll see. Well, look at that. Moving on to my next spot, since I'm not really finding anything, and I'm going to look off to my left, and there he is. Let's scramble up here real quick. Oh, shoot. That is a pretty one. Found a lot of those today. All right, here's another fossil that I knew we'd be finding a lot of. You can see it in there. Those are parts of a crinoid. And crinoids are really interesting organisms. They kind of look like plants, even though they're not. I'll throw up some pictures, but yeah, I should also be able to find quite a few crinoid bits and pieces. Cool. Let's crack open this big chunk of fossiliferous limestone, and we've got another one up there, and we'll see what we find inside. All right, I want to break this rock open and see what's inside. There's a lot of crinoids and stuff on the outside. See what we've got on the inside. More little crinoid bits and pieces, and that's about it right there. All right, let's take a look at some of the fossils that I decided to come home with. Obviously, didn't keep them all because, well, you know, carrying around rocks in a bag gets a little bit heavy sometimes, but let's look at what I did get. We'll go over them one by one. So here's the first one I found. Well, I don't think this is the first one I found. I don't know, but this is the first one I'm going to be showing you guys. Really nice. I kept this one because it looks good. Looks really, really good. There we go. And you're going to see that we have several different species represented here. I am not an expert in invertebrates. I'll get that out of the way right now. I am not an invertebrates expert, but we'll see a couple of different species represented here. Just don't expect me to be able to name them all. Next. Another pretty good one. You can really see the see that texture, and that's what I look for most, is really nice texture. If I'm going to keep one, I like to have nice textures. Also, I have not cleaned any of these yet, because that's a whole process. Yeah, this one's pretty nice. Next up, here's this one. I'm not sure why I kept... Oh, I remember why I kept this one. So I kept this one because you can see something here. Let's focus on this. You can see that the original kind of enamel on the shell, the original piece of the shell is peeling away, revealing underneath. This is just rock. But since it filled the cavity inside here, you know, you get the shape of the inside of the shell. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Next up, here's one that I kept. It's broken and squished, but I thought it still looked pretty cool. Not much on that side, but yeah. Pretty cool. I can see my camera is having a difficult time with some of these. Let's tilt down a little bit. Pretty fine textures. Here's one with Some neat textures. Gotta love that. And then, here's another one. I'm not sure why I kept this one. I'm hoping I didn't throw out one that I wanted to keep. Kept this one, but there he is. Probably the lowest quality one we've seen so far. And then here's one I kept because this one, unlike a lot of the others, is encased in rock. A lot of these are just the shell by itself, but this one is encased in some rock. I don't know, I like that uniqueness, so held on to that one. Here's a rock that I'm pretty sure there's something in here. Not sure what. Have to get in there to see, but that's why I kept that. And then this one. So as you can see, this is definitely a different type of fossil from these others. And this actually isn't the animal itself. This is just a cast. Think it might be the rest of it in there. I don't think so, maybe, but this is basically just the imprint of the inside of the shell. Really, really cool. I liked that. Pretty large one. Throw a ruler out here just because. And then I want to talk about crinoids a little bit. Crinoids are really cool. Crinoid fossils, if you find a complete crinoid, they look really, really cool. But usually what you find is like this, where you have just little bits and pieces of the stalks. Yeah, that's the best place to see them. And some people might disagree with me, but I'm just not a huge fan of crinoid fossils. I usually throw them back. Here is, I'll grab this rock. So here's a nice little chunk of either swamp bed or sea bed. See, there's a bunch of nice little fossils in here. A lot of crinoid pieces, some shell fragments. And then there is, where is it? This little guy here. See that swirly thing? I don't know what that is. I don't think it's an ammonite. In fact, I'm pretty sure, but I was finding them everywhere. Here's another one. Quite a bit bigger. And there was one rock I saw that was huge, probably about 3 feet long, that had a bunch of them in there, and obviously I wasn't going to scoop that up. But really neat. I don't know what they are. I think it might be maybe some species of Fuslinid, but I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. So I want to talk a little bit about why I found so many of the brachiopods, why they're so easy. I talked about this a little bit out in the field, but I wanted to kind of address it a little more in depth. So I went out there looking for a fish, plants, or, finding some reptile or amphibian remains was kind of a pipe dream, but I mainly went out there looking for fish and plant fossils. Why didn't I find any? The simple answer is because there's just more of these. There's more brachiopods laying around. Why? Well, let's think a little bit about what we call the depositional environment, where I found all of these. So the area I was in was probably at one point back in time kind of a swamp area, an area that saw seasonal tides or things like that. And so we're talking lots of mud and lots of water movement on occasion. So when you think about what it takes for something to be fossilized, the most common form of fossilization is petrification, which basically means that once an animal dies, all the soft parts rot away, and then what's left, the bones, teeth, hard parts like that, get mineralized. Minerals seep into them and then crystallize, and sediment piles on top of the bones and stuff, and gets buried, compacted, and just fossilized in that way. When you look at something like this, basically the entire animal is hard parts. So they're a lot easier to fossilize. And they're small. Fossilized teeth are a lot more common than, let's say, fossilized arm bones from dinosaurs, mammals, things like that. Because, if it's smaller, it has a more likely chance of being buried. Things will seep into it faster, stuff like that. So the simple answer on to why there's just so much of this is because they're easy to fossilize. And there's a lot of them. You think about going to the beach. You find shells everywhere. If there's a large number of something, there's going to be a large number of it that gets fossilized. Fossilization is a pretty rare process, actually. But, if you've got billions and billions of shells, you can count on probably a few million getting fossilized. Let's talk about, I was looking for plants, and honestly, the honest truth is I probably did find some. Chunks of this soil, this mud, that used to be at the bottom of this lagoon, this swamp area, there's probably quite a bit of plant matter in here, but I was looking for the good fossilized stuff. So yeah, I don't know really why I did this video, just for the fun of it, I guess, just for my entertainment, but hopefully some of you found this interesting and mildly entertaining. I got some pretty good stuff out of it. This one which one's my favorite? I think I like this one quite a bit, actually. I think so. And then I'm going to have to do some research and find out what the heck these swirly things are. Really, really interested by them. Pretty sure this is a cross-section of something. I mean, might be an ammonite? Ammonites, let's see. I think the oldest ammonite fossils are from the... I think ammonites first appeared in the Devonian. So that is before the Permian, so I guess there could be ammonites, but ammonites are mostly associated with more Mesozoic rocks. I don't know, and something about this just doesn't scream ammonite to me. See, it goes like that, comes around. Maybe if I crack this open, I'll find something. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Anyways, that's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.